Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is your local Problematic Leo here with not another contact lens video, surprisingly for once, but today I actually wanted to sit down and have a little bit of a chat with you guys, mainly because of the fact that there is a lot that I feel like I need to get off of my chest, including why there has been so much contact lens content in this channel and not much else. Alrighty, so before we jump in, I did want to have a little bit of a disclaimer, and that's mainly because of the fact that as I was thinking about what I wanted to say in this video, I recognized how first world problems it all was. I mean, amidst a global pandemic especially, and we still haven't gotten justice for Breonna Taylor's death, and the protests still continue, it's kind of mind-boggling. And so for me to sit here and talk about the issues that I have as an essential worker, I feel like it's so minuscule as compared to some of the bigger things that are floating around in the world right now. But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Maybe there are other people out there that feel the same way that I do, so I should go ahead and share, and maybe we can all bond together and have a little bit of a moment in regards to our first world problems, because really nothing is that terrible, especially at least in my situation. I am absolutely and truly blessed, and do be aware that I recognize that 100%. It was kind of weird as like all of this started. My life kind of took a bit of an upswing as societies kind of went into like this downward spiral. And I'm not saying that, you know, I don't have my own issues, but for some of you guys who weren't aware, I did like lock down a position as an essential worker right before everything hit. It was just kind of like a stroke of luck. I landed myself a job and I was like, oh, this is cool. And I didn't really think that it was going to be much of anything. But as things got more and more intense, I found that my job was so needed. And as that was happening and, you know, my life was becoming more financially stable, I kind of realized how unstable it was for all of my family and friends. And I guess this is where the kind of disconnect happens. And these are my confessions as an essential worker. So one of my best friends and my mom actually were kind of like in this weird state of limbo when it came to their jobs. You know, one of them was being furloughed and another one of them didn't know whether it was gonna last. And here I am thriving. I'm like, bills are getting paid, cars are getting paid off. And I was like, cards, not cars. The car's already paid off. But anyway, so I'm sitting in this position where I'm like, okay, everything is stabilizing for me. I'm so happy. And that's when the paths kind of diverged. And it became a little bit hard for me to talk about all of my successes when it came to my job in relation to all of my friends and my family, because it kind of came to a point where like, they're in distress and I can't really like flaunt all of my joy and happiness. And for those of you guys who maybe know me a little bit more personally during streams and all that kind of stuff, I'm a pretty bouncy individual and I'm kind of like, woo, everything is great, everything is wonderful. And so I found myself having to like rein it in. In fact, on the gaming channel in one of the videos, I was explaining the fact that I wasn't posting up as much content and, you know, letting them know that my job was getting really intense. And in the comment section, one person had stated, like, I hate how you rub it in our faces that, you know, you're doing overtime in your job and blah, blah, blah. Don't you know that it's really insensitive to all of the people out there who are having a hard time? And I'm like, oh God. There's a part of me that was like, I'm an exhausted essential worker. Just let me be and let me explain why I haven't been posting up content. And then there's another part of me that's like, oh my God, you're so right. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to like rub it in your face. And so I felt very conflicted. Then slowly but surely, the world started kind of like navigating its way around. Some people are now working from home. Some people are now finding alternate means of funding, and like, you know, things are, I wouldn't say on an upswing, but less of a swift downward spiral. You know, it's now a slowly meandering like walk down into the drain. So everything started kind of, I guess people were able to look more on the bright side of everything that was going on. And that's where things really started to become very, very obvious to me that I was not having the same experience as everyone else. Everybody's like talking about, oh my God, I'm pickling my own pickles, I'm learning how to cook this and do that, and I'm like working on my body, and I'm over here like, you know, what do you call this, cleaning out my closets and like getting my house in order. And I'm like, oh my God, that sounds so fun, can I join in on the party? So here I am after working like a 40+ hour week, scrambling around my apartment, trying to like fucking, what is it called? Joy of decluttering. What is it? Marie Kondoing everything, trying to find what sparks joy in my life in this like time crunch. And I found myself so absolutely exhausted because of the fact that, you know, there are people out there still streaming, still making content, and over here I'm working my ass off, just like emotionally, physically, and mentally exhausted from what I have to do on a daily basis. And I'm trying to do all the things that they're doing because I don't want to miss out on, you know, the quarantine party. I was like, I want to be a part of the quarantine party too. And I'm like sitting over here watching everybody get like ripped and doing their, you know, daily workouts and posting pictures of like, oh my God, they're losing weight. And here I am just scrounging around for anything to eat on the go at work. And let me tell you, it's nice because sometimes work likes to pop in with treats, like we were getting pizzas, we were getting donuts. That's not good when you're on keto, but you're hungry, so you gotta go. And I'm just like shoveling pizza in my mouth as I'm trying to get work done. And I'm like, oh, that's, by the way, that's why the face is so round. That's why I've been relying so heavily on Fenty's contour sticks and their bronzing stuff, because I'm like, oh God, gotta rein it in, gotta rein it in. And so I've been trying to find like a nice balance of all of that, where I'm achieving some of the things that everybody's achieving, and also like, you know, getting my work done and still having, I guess, some mental health moments for myself, because as many of you guys know, I used to do this like full time, like social media 100% of the time. And that kind of means like no matter what you're doing, you're always kind of like scouting for like, what's content? What kind of content can I work on? You know, what's the next thing that I need to do? So even when, you know, I was at home, I was always in work mode. So when I come home from work, I'm also in the, oh my God, I must be productive like everybody else in, you know, quarantine, and I must do all the workouts, and I must do all the Marie Kondoing, and I must tidy up my life and make everything super duper Instagrammable and post all of these pictures of it. And then don't forget, you still have to do all of this stuff for social media, so you still have a social media presence. And it's like, you gotta go stream, you gotta go do some coverage on games, and then you gotta, and then, you know, it's just a lot. It was just a lot, and it was just too much. And as of late, I've kind of like had to feel the need to pare things down a little bit. And that's kind of what I've been trying to sort out as of lately in my brain, and had a little bit of a clean out there, Marie Kondoed my brain out and tried to figure out exactly what sparks joy for me. And one of the things that I recognize is I can't do everything that everybody, you know, who's just at home in quarantine does. But of course, that's not like the full picture of everything that's going on over there, because, you know, I'm sure that while everything's being shared to social media and it's all glossy and pretty and fantastic, I'm sure that they're also worried about, you know, what happens when they have to pay their rent, or, you know, whatever needs to happen financially, or any of the other unseen stresses that are currently going on with that. So part of me is like, you gotta understand that's not the full picture. And I have to really process the fact that, you know, I can't do everything that everybody else is doing too, which is kind of depressing, because I feel like, I know it sounds sad, but I feel kind of like isolated from the quarantine party. I was like, I know the quarantine's not supposed to be fun, but I kind of want to join the party that you guys are having too. I know, it sounds so pathetic, but that's really what it is. Like, I feel like the world is kind of having this weird global community moment where everybody is getting together and really kind of like bonding over this terrible thing that's happening in the world. But I guess the other thing that has me really worried and also feeling isolated is literally because of the fact that I am an essential worker. One of the big things that I really feel the need to take upon myself is, don't fucking go anywhere, don't fucking do anything. Like, the amount of money that DoorDash is making on me is kind of nuts. Like, legitimately, I only go to work, go to the grocery, maybe the gas station on occasion, and that's basically it. That's the only place that I go. And even though, let's say, like, you know, other people that you know are also quarantined and, like, you know, they're not going anywhere and doing anything, my biggest worry is, even my mom has tried to come up and visit me, or she's said that she wanted to visit me, and I'm like, girl, I've seen your infection rates down over there. I don't want none of your infections. You could be an asymptomatic host and I could end up picking it up, and then I could be transmitting it to my coworkers, like, and they could be transmitting it to everybody else in their families, and I could be transmitting it to other people, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where I feel like I have this responsibility to isolate myself even further, mainly because of the fact that I am out there and I am doing my job. And let me tell you right now, my hands are so dry. They are so dry. I have gotten this Gold Bond eczema hand cream just because of the fact that literally I've never had to use like body lotions or hand lotions before. They would just like be thrown in the trash, and now I cherish them like nobody's business. I'm like, oh my god, please just oil me up, just oil me up. And no matter what I do, they're just always consistently dry because of all of the hand washing that's been going on and all of the antibacterial hand sanitization that's been happening. So it's just a lot. It's just a lot, and I don't know. I kind of can't wait for everything to normalize, and I kind of want to see what happens when everything normalizes, because the world it's so in a state that I could not even imagine that it's in right now. And a lot of it has led to introspection, and I hope that it's led to Okay, so the camera cut me off and I have absolutely no clue where I left off, but basically I feel like the world is in a really interesting space of introspection where we're all kind of looking inside of ourselves, and I just felt the need to kind of get things off my chest. And I don't know, hopefully be able to bond with maybe the other essential workers out there that also feel like, you know, they're watching everybody via their timelines because we can't go anywhere else. And I'm like staring at people on Instagram and seeing what's happening with people on YouTube, and, you know, just the world through a digital space, and feeling kind of like, shit, I need to get my stuff together, but I can't because I'm too busy working overtime constantly. So for those of you guys wondering what's been going on with me, why there hasn't been as much content over here, why I'm not streaming as much, that's probably the reason. But again, like I was saying, I've been doing a lot of thinking about the things that mean the most to me and spark joy in my life. And I don't know, hopefully we'll see more content on here that isn't just a whole bunch of contact lens reviews. Not that I don't love contact lenses, because they're absolutely beautiful and wonderful, and they make me feel all nice. They're like the one thing you can wear with a mask. Like, legitimately, when you have a mask on your face, I don't want to put on any makeup, and I've taken a lot of time to get my skin together. There's a lot of skincare going on with my daily routine. So part of me is like, get that skin looking nice. You won't need any foundation whatsoever. Just throw on a lip balm. But what can you do? Put on contact lenses. It's like the one thing, it's the one thing I get to do during this pandemic. And I'm like, every day, just a different one. Just look beautiful and wonderful. So I do love contact lens content here on the channel because it is one of those things that you can do during a pandemic. But I guess that's kind of like where it ends. I'm sorry that this video was so insanely scattered and kind of all over the place. Hopefully you're able to relate to some of it. If you don't relate to any of it, please try to be nice about it. I get it. Our paths have diverged. And you know what? Your experience is meaningful and my experience is meaningful, and hopefully at the end of all of this, we can get together and be meaningful in that way. I'm just saying. But that's my perspective. I hope some of you guys out there are comforted by it. I don't know, sometimes being alone together is a thing that we can do, but I'm gonna stop blabbling now. This video has just gone to crap, so I'm gonna go. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and wash your hands. Wash your hands before you touch your body, okay? Wash them, 20 seconds at least, and wear a damn mask. I'll see you. Just the phlegm, not COVID phlegm, just normal phlegm. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.